Local advertisers want an ROI on their marketing investment, but how do they know they got it? What metrics do they look at? And is there a difference between those that have an ROI process and those that don't? We'll find out in about 30 seconds.
Welcome to Corey's Local Marketing Minute, an enlightening and entertaining look at what's happening in local marketing. Corey's Minute is brought to you by AdCellerant. Why should you be working with AdCellerant? Here's CEO Brock Berry.
Hi, my name's Brock Berry, CEO and co-founder at AdCellerant. AdCellerant's total digital agency software solution, UI.marketing, is being leveraged by over 300 local media companies and ad agencies in 5 countries. We're proud that our team has landed on this year's Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing private companies for the 5th year in a row. If you're already partnering with AdCellerant, thank you. If not, reach out to us so we can get a conversation started today.
Learn more at adcellerant.com or book a demo by emailing info@adcellerant.com. And now, the shaman of local marketing, Corey Elliott.
Welcome back, everybody. This is part 2 of a 2-part series all about ROI. If you haven't seen the first one, you should go back and watch it or you'll be completely lost. And you wouldn't have to go back and find it if you would subscribe. And if you like these videos, and chat with us. We're fun people. Okay, in our first ROI video, we found out that about 41% of local businesses say they have some kind of ROI process. We don't know if it's good or bad. They feel they have one. That's what's important. We also learned if they use their gut more than data, what media they think is the easiest to measure. But in this video, we're getting more into the definition of ROI, or how they can prove it, if they can. And I think it's revealing to look at those businesses that say they have an ROI process and those that do not. Shall we begin? Okay, so we had this big ROI survey we fielded to our SMB panel. A few hundred local advertisers, yada yada. Anyway, we divided the responses into 2 groups. Those advertisers who said, yeah, I have an ROI process, and those that said, no, we don't have an ROI process. Because I think something happens when a local advertiser graduates from here to here. Let's start with key metrics. We ask which of the following are among the key metrics that you use to measure the success of your marketing. 2 really boiled up to the top, and you probably know what they are, but check out the differences of answers. They were cost per lead and cost per acquisition. It's actually acquisition, but I ran out of room. Of course, we naturally assume that there'd be less of these guys who say they look at this because they don't have an established ROI process. They might not have a process, but they appreciate evaluating marketing. 17% of this group said they would look at cost per lead. Meanwhile, 45% of the ROI process people would look at this. Initially makes sense, right? Here's where the story starts to shift. Only 12% of these guys said we'd look at cost per acquisition. Meanwhile, 51% of these guys do. It suggests once you have an ROI process, it starts to lean more towards understanding how your marketing spend affects actual sales rather than just leads. We see further evidence of this in the next question. One of the few benefits of being short is you can write above your head and people still see it. So we ask what specific things do they use to understand if a marketing campaign was successful. Some of the low scoring ones so you get an idea. Physical evidence of the advertising, meaning hearing the ad or seeing it. Surveys of customers, lead form submissions. These are all kind of low. But let's look at the ones that scored high. The top 3 was social proof, things like increased fans, followers, shares, blah, blah, blah. Good old WOM, word of mouth, and actual transactional data. And you'll see differences between these 2 groups. Half of this group said they looked at social proof. About the same amount say word of mouth. And 55% say transactional data. What about those businesses that say they have an ROI process? 42% rely on social proof. Even less, 38% rely on good old word of mouth. But transactional data? 71%. So it seems the advertisers have an ROI process, really leaning into that transactional data, that cost per acquisition. We asked these groups, what are some of the tactics your company used to improve marketing ROI? This is what you use to determine it, but what do you use to improve it? Top 3 answers coming up. Okay, up on the board are 3 of the tactics they use to improve marketing ROI. One is they monitored their social presence, including online reviews, people gabbing, things like that. Next is actually experimenting with their media mix. And third is trying to get there by actually using lower cost methods in their mind. What do you think the differences are here? Monitoring their social presence was mentioned the most by both groups. 69% of the ROI process people, 45% of the non-ROI process people. Then over half of ROI people experimented with the media mix or used lower cost methods, telling us that in combination, this is what local businesses are experimenting with to try and maximize ROI. They're tweaking things. They seem to be migrating from cost per lead to cost per acquisition. So, how's that working for them? We asked the businesses that have an ROI process, after telling us everything they do to establish an ROI process, how confident are you in that process? What percentage said they are strongly confident? 46%. And it gets eye-opening from there, because we ask whether you're confident, whether you're confident or not, how much of your company's media spending do you believe ROI could be calculated for? So what percentage of local businesses that say they have a marketing ROI process say they can account for more than half of their marketing spend? Ta-da! 41%. Kind of close to how many said they were confident, right? Yeah, 46. So whatever ROI process they have, only 41% say it can account for more than half of their ad spending. So we finally asked them, okay, if your company could receive only one metric from your media partners to calculate ROI, what would that one metric be? This was open-ended, so we gathered the responses. Most of them don't have that much. 12% said reach, 7% said number of leads or calls, another 12% said conversion rate, but do you know what 1 out of 4 said? 24%, almost 1 out of 4. 24% said don't know. So, local advertisers want ROI, but once we say they have an ROI process, are linking it more to transactional data, and they're trying to improve their marketing by reacting to what they see on social media, or adjusting their marketing mix, or spending less money on marketing, and a lot of them don't know exactly how a media company could help. So, the holy grail, of course, is actually proving that your suggested media campaign is making the cash register ring. That's going to involve transactional data work. Somebody's going to be doing it, and it can be done. We should explore that in another video. But for now, this is the state of ROI in a local advertiser's mind. And this concludes our thrilling 2-part series. And we here at Burrell Associates hope you have experienced your own personal ROI. Thank you.
You've been watching Corey's Local Marketing Minute, sponsored by our friends at AdCellerant. Learn more at adcellerant.com. Remember, if you'd like to hear more of Corey's insights, check out the Local Marketing Trends podcast. Just Google Burrell Podcast or look for the podcast link on BurrellAssociates.com.